Hi all, welcome to my Player of the Month Neymar kind of like SBC breakdown, and hopefully breaking down what I've got in the club and explaining where we hopefully have enough to do it, and kind of break down maybe his costs as well a little bit more as well, kind of like explain a left wing cam situation. So welcome, smash likes as always, sub to the channel if you're new, follow me on Twitter at GSLegend, all links are down below for posts on the channel and social media links as always. And comment down below if you're going to do Neymar, if he happens, and if so, what do you hope for, left wing or a cam of him. So my squad of SBC stuff is 2 squads at the moment, and I will admit, when you look at it as well, what you've got to remember, I've got all 4 Odegaards, Osmans, Zanolos and James. Then I've got all the League players, so Shoji, Verstraete, Politano, the original ones. But obviously Verstraete and Politano at the moment we have their 8, 9 and 8 respectively, and then we'll obviously get the rest as like if it's like the week progresses. Now we've obviously had some of the upgrades factor in as well, so like Onana's now an 86, that helps for any informs that we need to throw in, and same for Vardy being an 87. Like it just helps a little bit more. Kind of just make the SBCs just a little bit easier. Like for me, like Suarez, Ziyech and Iniesta, they just help immensely because they're 91 and 90 rated respectively. You can just slot them right into the high rated squads. Osman helps for the Lagoon aspect for an 88. Ozil, Odegaard, Player's handy because he's French, because he will slot in quite nicely for any of those elements. Tagliafico, Vardy, like the way I look at it as well, even some of these routes you could slot into, like Moy Gomez and Santi Cazorla and Odegaard, you could slot into like say a La Liga element of like a rated squad. Same for Iniesta, you could just go Spanish, you're sorted, you don't have to do much else. And like Lagoon wise, like Thiago Mendes, Thiago Mendes is easy enough because he's Brazilian. King, Onana helps because he's an inform. El Shaarawy, just because he's an 85, same for Cáceres. Boulaya, same principles. They're just good because they're like 85s, 86s, 87s. I'm not using them. If I'm not like, I use some of them for like objectives, but I can happily bite my tongue if it means I get Neymar. If I'm having to save, if it saves me, if every 86 basically saves me say 15k, every 85, 10, 15k for an 86, every 85 between 5 and 10, then you're sorted. And because obviously you may need like informs or other special cards, you say to yourself, well, I've got all these special cards. And like the way you keep breaking it all down, the way I want to look at it, I would say, right, the Lagoon players, like if Osimhen's the only Lagoon player I need for, if it goes like Brazil, then you'd say, right, well, if it's Brazil, I'll put Thiago Mendes in. If it's Lagoon, I might just go Osimhen in. If it's rated squads thereafter, or there's a La Liga element, you say, right, well, I've got Iniesta, I've got like a Spanish element, so I've got Barcelona's covered by Suarez, because they could easily go Barcelona, they could go Brazil, they could go La Liga, they could go Lagoon, they could go like 6 to 8 rated squads. They might go like 86 or it's 87, 87. Like 87's like an 87 base, but 87 inform, 88 base, 88 inform, 89 base, 89 inform. So it's like suddenly just builds up. And depending if it's a left wing, it might not be as bad, but if it's a cam, it could be like 3-4 million coins. They might overprice it when it should really be like 2 to 3. But like for me, I feel, when I break all my specials down that's on this first page, I would say this would genuinely make good inroads into like quite a few routes. Like if it means I know I've only got to buy a handful of players and it's not a great deal to spend, then that's brilliant. And what I'll do is, when over like the coming days, I'll actually sit down and plan out, right, if I've got to build an 86 rate squad, what do I still need? If I've got to build an 87 rate squad with these guys, what do I need? And that's what I want to do. I want to sit down and break it all down to the point where I am that happy, where I can say, right, well, these special cards can go with these base cards, or any of these other special cards from that I've maybe obtained, plus the like Politano and the 88 Verstrate, for example. Because you've now got two versions of them, you can say, right, well, the higher rated one can go in that squad and the lower rate. It's just a little bonuses that help. And like, even if I've got all these packs that are accumulating, I ain't going to open them all up just for the sake of getting Neymar. I know within my account of special players, but then the amount of coins that are in my club, I should hope that I still have enough to like do them regardless. And looking at everything anyway, I think the only player I'd probably sell, or players, is like Team of the Year De Jong and Team of the Year Alisson. But I would only sell them until I necessarily need to. And what's handy as well with a few of the informs that we've got, Grealish, Maddison and even Sarabia have all had boosts. So like Grealish is up 2, Maddison's up 2, and Sarabia is up 2 as well. Because obviously it's his one to watch. But when you look at how many informs that we have in the club, we've got a lot of like discard informs, like Pablo and Sales. We actually, funnily enough, use when we do like the La Liga, not La Liga, Legun element of the like icon swaps, for example. But I'm happy to throw them in if it means I can do like SBC for cheap. Like Rennie Adelaide, same principle, same for Sarabia. I only use these cards if I really when I'm doing the like Legun icon swaps. It just makes it so much easier. But if I know I'm able to do routes because I've got like a Brazil inform and Wesley, I can see, well, I've got Brazil and an inform covered. It's all these little parts. I'm hoping if it's this week that because I'm saving so much on 86 like, informs and like, even though these guys are all discard and I can't use them anyway because they're all untradeable, I would say to myself, right, well, like 85 Odegaard, 85, like you just constantly just keep putting each one in a route, and because I'm not going to, I'll be honest, I ain't going to use them. Like they are fun cards to use, but I'm not really, if I'm not using them in my main team, and the premise is just to get Neymar, I'd rather save myself as many coins as possible. That's the way I'm looking at it. And plus Ruslan, I would not feature in this if I hadn't got Mendy. So, but there is like, I feel like even though it's practically two squads just now because you've obviously got Politano and what do you call it, Frustrate and all that, and like I know I've not got them in here just now, but when you kind of break it all down, I would say I think I could get half done with the players I've got, at least half the way there, and I'm saying at least half because I feel I don't have to buy too much, but I would imagine I would still have enough to just be like, I need to just buy this player slot in here, or if I've got him in the club, then I'd be like, right, I just have to put him in here or that in there, and things tick off quite nicely. Like Jaquim helps if we need La Liga informs, like if La Liga Santander is a route, and I know if I'm doing Suarez in the route, but if I've got Jaquim, or depending on how they set up the requirements, I'm sitting down with it all, and I want to make it as easy as possible for myself. Like I know for you guys, you might be like, oh, I've not got all this SBC fodder, but I've got 5 million coins, and I plan to do them if he's a cam, but I don't have the players. And I see, and folk will be asking, what do I buy? Well, you buy the 86s, you buy the 87s, you buy the 88s, you buy the 89s, you buy the 90 rated. You just work your way from like 86 to 91s and just go crazy and say, right, you buy like Brazil, you buy Legun, you buy La Liga, you just buy rated squads, you try and buy the lowest, like the easiest way possible. That's the way, in like my case, it looks like it's going to be La Liga constantly. But I'll see how it all plays out. But for me, Neymar, if he's a cam, I'm fine with that. I'll just have to adjust the squad a little bit. I've got a few ways I think I'm going to do it. If he's a left wing, now that I look at it, that is perfect, because I can probably see how I might go a completely different way with who goes at left defensive mid over Frenkie de Jong I've got a few ideas in mind with that. So the team might be seeing a bit of adjustment in a nice way, but we'll see how things play out, folks. My assumption for Neymar's Player of the Month, if it drops, is going to be this week. At the very latest, the following week, which is the 24th, but I think it's going to be week of the 17th. That's my assumption. And as I said, I will show a completed squad, folks. So when I upload the video on YouTube, it isn't going to be just a temporary guide. This is going to be a full completed guide that you will see. But let me know, folks, as I said, if you're going to do it, smash like always, sub to the channel if you're new, and I will catch you all later.